We were separated out, our crew was. So your plane today is going to be filled not with bombs, but it's going to be filled with tinfoil, bales of tinfoil. And you're going to fly 2,000 feet below the rest of the 8th Air Force. And that will jam their radar. Now, he didn't bother to tell us, but what the Germans will know is exactly where you are, because they'll pick up where the tinfoil was coming from. And then we began to feel jump like this, and the plane would rock, and then there'd be this black puff of smoke outside, and that's there what we call flak. Then we lost an engine, it went out, we got hit, and then we got another hit, but we were really running on one good engine and one pretty sick engine, and then an engine that was on fire, and the word came that we better bail out. I had looked at my watch and it was 12:15 noon. And I thought of all of that. What a crazy thing to think about that when you're scared to death. Just no more than 10 seconds after we jumped out, our airplane had gone into a tailspin and it blew up in a big ball of fire. So we just barely got out in time, and it was gone. I reached down and my Army .45 pistol had jerked out, and I had an escape packet in there that had consolidated food. It was gone too. I took the chute off and decided that I would go and try to surrender somewhere. But I thought, how long can I stay out here in this temperature with nothing to eat? And so I came off, found a road, a little 2-track road. They said, don't give yourself up to German people in these towns because you're killing their people. And they'll take you out and hang you or shoot you right away. But if you do give yourself up to the German army, and they will send you to a concentration camp. And this guy had a pistol at my head.
9 sheets, request Parliament.
And our first foolish thing, I tried to speak German, tell him I was a German, so that didn't work. He was very excited and very nervous, and he was shaking this pistol right here in my thumb.
Is that too risque?
This guy in the back said,
hey man, why don't you just tell him who you are?
Well, you're from the South?
Yeah, I'm from the South. I'm from Texas, Wascom, Texas.
I said, good golly, well, tell this guy. I don't know who he is, but don't shoot.
Hey, he's all right. He's with us.
See?
Yeah, he checks out.
Well, it was a French officer that was riding in that Jeep. They said that a rather large outfit of Hitler's army had been given American uniforms, and then they would get behind an American company and then open fire on them at, 3 feet away. Now, that's why this French guy was nervous. That if I tried to speak German, but I had on an American uniform, then he had every right to shoot me. And I didn't put all that together right away. So we went, and I said, well, we on the American side of it? He said, we're right in the middle of it. And so we went to a farmhouse, and there was an American infantry company there, and they were all on their bellies, and the Germans were in the barn. I remember getting lying on my belly, and a guy crawled over to me and he said, that's an Air Force uniform you got on. I said, yeah. And he said, well, tell me, I'm writing an article about that. What's it like to get shot at up in the air? He said, it scares me to do that. I said, friend, having those Germans right there in that barn popping off at us, that scares me. Well, I didn't have anything to shoot with. So they said, do you want to get a ride back to the captain's headquarters? I said, yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. And I spent the night there with a major in a farmhouse. So he had some vodka and grapefruit juice. And I got really soused, drunk as I could be. And we stayed up, and I was so, I don't know, I just was scared. I wouldn't admit it then, but I was scared to death. So I went to sleep, and as I was going to sleep, I could hear this artillery shells going on. And I jumped up, and this major said,
oh no, that's our artillery. I'm giving them hell.
So then I went to sleep again, and I guess 4 or 5 hours later, I heard shelling again. And I said, oh boy, we're just really knocking it to them. Well, it turns out that was the Germans' artillery coming our way. And then I woke up, and there was not a single person in the house. And that major had left me. He probably couldn't wake me up. I mean, I just was passed out. I walked around this farmhouse, nobody, dead silence. And I went to the front door, and there was a German tank outside. And a German soldier had opened the turret, and his body was hanging out. And I looked down, and his head was in the snow down below. One of the shells had totally decapitated him. So there was a lot of those experiences that were kind of, the horror of it was delayed in impacting us. But I realized that it was deep in there. So we drove in their back of their pickup truck, and they let me out. Now they said, the American line is about 5 miles down, and these people will get you to the Americans if the Germans don't get us first. And I finally got to the American lines, then they got me to Paris, and they said, we'll get you back to England. I think they knew back at the base that we weren't going to make it, that this airplane was it was a decoy. That's what we were, a decoy. Would I do it again? Yeah, I'm sure. I think that the cost was worth it. So I wanted to be a part of this. I would hope we'd make smarter decisions, the people who were calling the shots and making the big decisions. But I don't know. War is a horrible thing, and we haven't cured the evil that causes war to start.